The heavens above Metropolis trembled as an unnatural storm gathered, blotting out the sun. Lightning slashed through the sky, but there was no rain, only darkness, thick and suffocating. The people below felt it before they saw it, an overwhelming sense of dread, an unshakable feeling that something beyond their comprehension was descending upon their world. At the heart of the city, in the Daily Planet building, Clark Kent sat at his desk, eyes narrowing as he read a report from STR Labs. It detailed unusual cosmic activity, powerful energy signatures emanating from a sector of space, linked to only one name, Apokolips. He didn't need to read further. He already knew Darkseid was coming. The last time Superman faced the tyrant of Apokolips, it had nearly cost him everything. Darkseid was no mere villain. He was a conqueror, a god of despair and the embodiment of oppression. Every time he arrived, planets burned, civilizations crumbled, and hope was extinguished. Clark turned his gaze toward the city skyline. The people of Metropolis, his city, carried on, unaware that war was about to descend upon them. He stood from his chair, loosening his tie as he stepped toward the window. Then, before anyone could see, he vanished in a blur, rocketing toward the Fortress of Solitude. Inside the crystalline walls of the fortress, Superman activated his advanced Kryptonian systems. Holograms of the cosmos shimmered to life before him, displaying Apokolips movements through the void. It was undeniable. Darkseid's forces were mobilizing. The image of an old friend flickered onto the console. John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, his green skin slightly paler than usual, spoke with urgency. Superman, we have intercepted transmissions from Apokolips. Darkseid is coming, and this time, he is not merely here for Earth. Superman's fists clenched. What do you mean? He seeks something hidden here, something ancient. A second voice interrupted, this one deep, gravelly, and filled with quiet authority. Bruce Wayne, the anti-life equation. Superman's expression darkened. He had heard of the fabled equation before, a cosmic formula that granted total control over sentient will. It was rumored to be incomplete, scattered across the universe. If Darkseid believed the missing piece was on Earth, he won't stop, Superman muttered. He'll burn this planet to ash if it means claiming it. We need to prepare, Batman said. I'll rally the League. But Clark, if this comes down to you and him, you need to finish it this time. Superman understood what Bruce meant. There could be no half measures, no restraint. The attack came without warning. Boom tubes opened across the planet, spilling forth parademons like a plague. Their shrieks filled the air as they descended upon cities, tearing through defenses, reducing entire districts to rubble. The Justice League scrambled to contain the invasion, but they all knew this was merely the opening act. In Metropolis, the streets were drowned in chaos. Civilians screamed and ran as fire rained from the sky. Superman arrived in an instant, heat vision scorching through waves of parademons, his fists shattering their armored forms with every strike. Then the air itself seemed to vibrate, reality bending around a single point. A massive boom tube ripped open above the city, and from its heart emerged Darkseid. The Lord of Apokolips descended like a titan, his crimson gaze burning with quiet menace. He did not need to move swiftly. His presence alone was enough to still the battlefield. Parademons withdrew, and even the most battle-hardened warriors felt a primal fear slither into their bones. Superman hovered in the air, facing him. For a moment, there was silence. Darkseid, Superman said, his voice unwavering. Darkseid regarded him with something that might have been amusement or mere indifference. Superman, he rumbled, his voice like the grinding of ancient stone. I have come for what is mine. Superman's jaw tightened. There's nothing here for you. Darkseid raised a single hand, and in an instant Omega beams erupted from his eyes. They zigzagged unpredictably, carving through buildings as they locked onto Superman. Superman blurred away just in time, the beams pursuing him relentlessly. He shot through the city, leading them away before twisting in mid-air and unleashing a full-powered blast of heat vision. The beams collided, detonating in a blinding explosion. When the smoke cleared, Darkseid still stood unfazed. Superman's heart pounded. He had known this fight was inevitable. Darkseid had come for the anti-life equation, but he would have to go through Superman first. The air between them crackled with raw power. Superman hovered above the ruins of Metropolis, his cape billowing in the scorched winds. Below him, Darkseid stood unfazed, his glowing red eyes narrowing with a quiet, terrifying confidence. "Your defiance is admirable," Darkseid intoned, his voice heavy with disdain. "But ultimately it is meaningless." Superman didn't respond. He didn't waste words. With a sudden burst of speed, he shot forward, a blue and red streak cutting through the sky. His fist connected with Darkseid's jaw with enough force to shatter mountains. The shockwave ripped through the battlefield. Windows exploded for miles, and the ground beneath them cracked open. Darkseid barely moved. Then, with terrifying ease, he drove his fist into Superman's stomach. The impact sent shockwaves through his Kryptonian cells, forcing the air from his lungs. Before Superman could react, Darkseid grabbed him by the throat and hurled him into the ground, cratering the city's streets. The Man of Steel gritted his teeth, ignoring the pain as he forced himself up. But Darkseid was already upon him. A single backhand sent Superman crashing through several skyscrapers. He barely managed to halt himself mid-air before Darkseid's Omega beams were upon him again. Superman dodged left, right, up, but the beams curved unnaturally, following his every move. He had only milliseconds to react. He flew straight down, leading the beams toward the streets before twisting upward at the last moment. The beams struck the ground, vaporizing everything in a fiery eruption. But the distraction lasted only a moment. Darkseid was already there. He grabbed Superman's head in a crushing grip and slammed him into the earth, dragging him through the streets, through steel and concrete, like he was nothing more than an insect beneath his boot. Then lifting him high, Darkseid launched him skyward with a thunderous uppercut. Superman's body rocketed out of the atmosphere, his ears ringing, his vision blurring. He barely had time to recover before Darkseid appeared before him, in the cold void of space, unbothered by the vacuum. "You are strong," Darkseid admitted, "but you are no god." Superman's eyes glowed red. "I don't need to be." He unleashed the full fury of his heat vision, beams so intense they cut through space itself, slamming into Darkseid's chest. The warlord grunted but did not fall. Instead, he reached forward, grabbed Superman by the face, and dragged him back toward Earth at terrifying speed. The two of them slammed into the ocean, sending tsunamis racing toward the coastlines. The water boiled around Darkseid's burning aura as he emerged, pulling Superman with him. Superman coughed, shaking the water from his face. He was battered, bleeding, but not beaten, not yet. With a roar, he unleashed everything. He blurred forward, his punches striking Darkseid with the force of nuclear explosions. Every strike echoed across the battlefield, shaking the city to its core. He hit him again and again, his blows fueled by fury, by determination, by the need to protect his world. For the first time, Darkseid staggered. Superman didn't stop. He grabbed Darkseid and shot upward at speeds beyond comprehension, past the clouds, past the stratosphere, past the moon itself. He flew with such speed that the atmosphere burned around them, dragging Darkseid with him, and then, at the peak of his ascent, he let go. Darkseid's body rocketed into space, but Superman wasn't done. He turned, charged his heat vision to its maximum, and unleashed a beam of pure destruction. It struck Darkseid mid-flight, sending him hurtling further into the void. Superman took a deep breath. His body ached, his energy drained, but he had done it. Darkseid was gone. For now. He descended back toward Earth, landing amidst the ruins of Metropolis. The people, his people, looked up in awe, in gratitude, in hope. Superman stood tall. He had won, but he knew this was only a temporary victory. Darkseid would return, and when he did, Superman would be ready.